First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao-Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zheng-Kung. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. And homage to the main deity of the group practice today, Mahajundi Buddha Mother. Simo Danzhen Katso. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all fellow practitioners here and over the internet. And our participating VIPs today are the most important one, Master Dhammananda. And in Chinese, the Venerable Si Fu Yu. And he is a member of the Vietnamese Buddhist Sangha Association, and also the Sri Lanka National Government's Special Envoy. So the Special Envoy of the Sri Lanka National Buddhist and also the representative from Taipei to Sweden, the Ambassador Daniel Liao's wife, Dharma Sister Judy, and the head of the Da Hong publisher in France, Dharma Sister Sandrine Fong, and a famous composer, music composer from Hollywood, accountant from Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and Dharma Sister Lian Long. She's from California. We can say that in North America or in USA, she is the director of the Voices from Heaven choir group. And of the masters, and she's the conductor, we have Master Ling Tze from New York City, And then also from Toronto, Canada, Master Lien Xiong. Master Lien Xiong is also very special. He's very capable. In Toronto, he built the Jing Ying Li Zhang Temple and finished it, completed it in 2 years. And his temple is extremely beautiful. Very majestic and huge. And compared to the Seattle Lizang Temple, this is like the bathroom of that Jing Ying Lizang Temple in Toronto. And their statues are incredible. As soon as you walk in, they're all gold. Every one of them are huge and majestic and formidable. So we can say that his is the symbol of Buddhist temple or Buddhist field in Toronto. So at the university there, whenever they mention Buddhism, they would bring the students to go to that Jing Ying Lizang temple there. So he's extremely capable. And the member of the Vietnamese Central Buddhist Sangha Association. So Master Dhammananda is Vietnamese. So we have fellow practitioners here who can understand Vietnamese. Please raise your hand. Anyone? You came from Vietnam? Please stand up. So you're Vietnamese? I'm a Chinese Vietnamese. So you understand Vietnamese? Yes. We have many people came from Vietnam. Please be seated. And more importantly is the honored special envoy from the Sri Lanka National Buddhism, because India was invaded by Muslim, and also there was Hinduism there, so Buddhism was rather limited there. In India, but in Sri Lanka, the government there still supports Buddhism. So that's different. So Sri Lanka is quite different, and they support Buddhism there. So that's why Buddhism flourishes there. However, primarily the Theravada or Hinayana school. Last week, I was talking about the 9 sections that I divided further into 9 sections, but there's a different view about the 9 sections in the Great Perfection, who refer to the Sravaka or solitary hearers. So the 9 sagely realms, the Sravaka hood, and the Pratyeka Buddhahood and Bodhisattvahood. So these 3 belong to Mahayana Buddhism, and for Tantrayana Buddhism there are 6 realms: the Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, Mahayoga, Anu Yoga, and Ati Yoga. So altogether 9 stages. So I would like to especially add to that when I mention about the 9 states. In the Great Perfection Dharma, there were the 9 holy stages. So good evening, everybody. How do you do? So today we practice Mahajundi Buddha Mother, and she has great power. And one of Grandmaster's lineage is Master Pufang, and he especially transmitted the Jundi Buddha Mother Dharma. So he was at the Shezi Dao in Taipei, and he built the Jundi, the chief temple, or the chief mudra, or the root or the general mudra. This mudra is called the general mudra. So therefore Master Pufang is my guru, and the temple that he built was also called the chief temple or general temple, and he enshrined many Mahajundi Buddha Mother in his temple. And he has the practice procedure for Mahajundi Buddha Mother. And there is a religion that highly revere Mahajundi Buddha Mother in India. And how would you pronounce that character? Jina. Jina. So the Jain or Jain religion. I remember when I was in India, they have a parade in India, and then they carry a deity, and when I saw it, that was Mahajundi Buddha Mother. That's the Jainism in India. And in Japanese Tantrayana, highly revere Mahajundi Buddha Mother. There was a Rinpoche who visited our temple here from Tibet. The 10th reincarnation Tulku of Dakjun Rinpoche. Long ago, he resided in Spokane Washington. He went to Spokane from Nepal, and when he passed by here, he visited us, and he also took refuge in Grandmaster Dakchen Rinpoche, the 10th reincarnation of Tulku. And he recognized all the mantras. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Lamdre Soha, Om Ha 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 Visame Soha, Om Chili Chili Chunti Soha, Om Jambala Chalang Chanaya Soha, Om Ahom Picha Guru Padma Siddhi Om Se, Om Ahom Guru Pe Ao Sasama Lien Sung Siddhi Hum. And of these mantras, only the Om Chili Chuli Junti Soha he did not recognize. So in Tibetan Tantrayana, although Mahajundi exists, but very few people practice her, because he never heard of the Om Chili Chuli Junti Soha. That's what he said. So in Japanese Tantrayana and Chinese Tantrayana, in the Han region, the Middle Kingdom, Buddhism in China region, Mahajundi Buddha Mother is quite popular, and also some in India and Japan. Only in Tibet it's less so. So any one of you who's been to Tibet, have you seen Mahajundi Buddha Mother enshrined at temples there? The 17th Karmapa was, is it Daya Dorje or Ujinjere? So he transmitted Mahajundi Buddha Mother Dharma? Yes. But this deity, her mantra, in the Great Prajna treatise, Sakyamuni Buddha mentioned about the 18 arms and hands, which represent in the 18 uncommon practices that represent the body free of karmic hindrances, speech free of karmic hindrances, mind free of karmic hindrances, without evil thoughts, immovable, tranquil mind, accomplishing everything properly without desires, tirelessly saving sentient beings, immovable right mind, unchanging perfect wisdom, complete liberation, total realization of every aspect of liberation, wisdom inherent in all conduct, wisdom inherent in all speech, and wisdom inherent in mind, unhindered wisdom of past lives, unhindered wisdom of future lives, and unhindered wisdom of present life. So the 18 arms, the 18 hands, representing 18 meanings. Just talking about the meanings. then we can talk about it all night, just talking about one meaning. And one night may not be enough, so let's just not talk about it then. Okay, let's just talk about the first one. Body free of karmic hindrances. What does it mean? Body meaning our body. So, body free of karmic hindrances symbolizes that our body encompasses or includes speech and the mind, which are the key points in Tantrayana. So speech free of karmic hindrances. So you don't chat, you don't say useless or nonsense, useless things or nonsense. That's the fault of the speech. So if you speak nonsense stuff or lies or untruthful things, like just nonsense stuff, meaningless, useless stuff. And another kind is coarse words. Those are of all faults of this speech. But in this case, speech free from faults. And the faults of the body are quite numerous. Due to touch of the body under the table. Or the fault of the hand. Or if you get the red pocket, not the red pocket, but bribery, then that's the fault of the hand or the body. And you touch things that are not supposed to be touched, that's the fault of your hand. Or you steal somebody else's things, that's the fault of the hand. Or you rob things from other people, that's the fault of the hand. And the fault of the mind. So reflection, pure reflection. That's why Mahajuni Buddha Mother Vajra name is Pure Vajra. Pure Vajra. So it's very important, and that's like what we call the Brahmin conduct, which means you live a pure life. The purity of the body, the purity of the speech, and the purity of the mind. Are all part of the bodily faults. So, Jundi Buddha Mother has 18 uncommon practices. So, it includes broadly, and we cannot finish talking about it. So let me share a joke today. Mr. Liu and his wife want a kid, a baby, but she did not get pregnant for 3 years. So today he went to the temple to get a fortune being told, to see when she would get pregnant. And then the reverend who was trying to explain said a lot of things, and he could only understand one phrase, which is there would be someone helping, someone favorable helping. So this is the fault of the body. How could you be helped by someone favorable in having a baby? So that's quite puzzling why he explained it that way. So this joke is considered about nonsense stuff. It's something that we should not talk about, something that we should not say. Many people come to ask Grandmaster. Oh, ask a master, not Grandmaster. When do you think my life would be bright and warm? Shining and hot. And then I took a look, and he's about 70. And yet he was asking, when do you think my life will be shining and hot? And the master replied, during your cremation, then you would be shining and hot. Right? During cremation. Now let's talk about Lamdre. Receiving the nectar from arising to the discovery of one of the benefits. The verse said, the bliss of the 5 Amrita refers to the nectar of discovering the benefits that arises to bliss. When the desire reaches all parts of the body, or when it permeates all divisions, stop the zealous breathing and breathe in the life and breathe in the life breath with 2 Vajra fists crossed at your chest, the eyes slightly looking up. Practice diligently the transformation of the realization and attain the 5 pure Amrita to generate bliss all over the body. Also, initially, when the body hair sweats and stands up, it is only a slight bliss. Then the bliss blazes extensively, and afterwards it trembles and moves upward, and then it reaches all channels. When the dual execution reaches the moment of robustness, it would be impossible not to be faulty. So this piece, nectar from arising to the discovery of one of the benefits, the bliss of the 5 Amrita. So let me explain this piece. I just finished reading it. If you can explain it, please raise your hand. If you can explain this excerpt, please raise your hand. Amitabha. Truly, this Lamdre Chinese translation is really puzzling. The wording is quite a mess. What is this? It would be impossible not to be faulty. So does it mean it's faulty? So only this phrase is really hard to explain. When the body hair sweats and stands up, it is only a slight bliss. Let me tell you, Grandmaster is very happy every day because my bliss is perpetual. It's endless. I have said it before, right? Living for the day, be grateful for the day. Living for the day, be happy for the day. Did I say it? Living for the day, grateful, happy, choosing, and practice. Cultivate spiritually. Grateful, happy, and cultivate spiritually. Every day, Grandmaster is happy. There's nothing faulty every day. The bliss was originally with you. So, discovering the bliss is not that you have done something blissful, but your own vital energy, the qi, is moving inside the channels, the inner fire is moving inside the channels, and the light drops are moving inside the channels, arise to bliss 24 hours a day, 7/24. So it is extremely difficult to be able to reach this through your practice. It's really hard because as a human being we always have disturbing emotions and afflictions. Then you would be unhappy. It is very difficult to maintain being happy every day. So the bliss of the 5 Amrita and the desire reaches all parts of the body, or when the desire permeates all parts. So stop the zealous breathing, which means hold your breath. And what is the life breath or life qi? It is inside the heart chakra. So the qi or the breath inside the heart chakra, that's called the life breath or life qi. They are the upper qi, lower qi, peripheral qi, and then fire accompanying qi, and the life qi. Qi meaning vital energy. And here they write it as life breath. So inner breathing. And with the fists as 2 Vajra fists crossed in front of your chest. Like when we form the Vajrasattva's mudra. And the important parts, the eyes slightly looking up, like it's called the sun and moon facing the sky. And practice diligently the transformation of the realization and attain the 5 pure Amrita to generate bliss all over the body. And here it also mentioned that it trembles and moves upward. So you move the peripheral qi. So you move your body, the eyes, the sun and the moon looking up to the sky, and then you lift up the qi by the eyes looking up, and then by moving your body is for the peripheral qi, life qi, upper qi, and peripheral qi are all in function. Then the bliss can reach all channels. And when you generate bliss, then you do certain things to transport the bliss to all channels, so that all parts of your body would experience the bliss. So there are several things happening here. The bliss of the 5 Amrita. At the beginning, when the body hair sweats and stands up, a slight bliss is generated. Then the bliss blazes, and then you move your body, moves it upward, and the eyes looking up, 2 Vajra fists cross in front of your chest, and you breathe in the life breath, and you rely on the life qi, and also the upper qi, and the peripheral qi, and the lower qi. When you do all of them, then your bliss will reach all parts of the body. That's what it meant here. Do you understand? The upper qi is being handled by the 2 eyes looking up, and the life qi should be pulled in. So when you pull in, you use the life qi, and when you move your body, the qi, so that the qi can reach all parts of the body, you use the peripheral qi, and then when you lift up, then you lift up the lower qi upward. So you have utilized the 4 types of qi. So the lower qi, peripheral qi, life qi, and upper qi, all being utilized. And then the qi will reach all parts of the channels and all over your body, and the bliss will also reach all parts of the body. So when you feel the bliss, then you don't lose the nectar. For general people, if you hold and lift up the bliss, then you would experience the great bliss. So it's not like when you laugh when I tell a joke. That kind of bliss is very short. But the bliss inside your body is something that you need to train for a long time in order to experience it. If you don't cultivate spiritually, you would never know about this kind of bliss. So this is the inner practices, inner tantric practices. If you only practice the yidam dharma, then you will not know. But if you do inner tantric practices and using the method above, then you would experience this bliss, and the bliss is also called nectar. Why they name the typhoon woman names? because when the typhoon comes, it's gentle, but when typhoon leaves, it would take away your house, your cars, and also your heart even. It's not that funny, right? But it's quite meaningful. The authentic Tantrayana, as I said last week, for Tantrikas, the women are nectar. And the male practitioners are also the nectar to his companion. So the male practitioner is also nectar. Like the joke just said, why the typhoon is named after women's names? Because when the woman leaves, she will carry your houses, cars, and also your heart would be taken away by her. What should I say? Is it really that bad? Some of them are really bad. Xiao Qian told his friend, I'm fighting with my wife every day. And the friend asked, so do you win over her? And he replied, at the end, she would be really quiet. After I said the statement, and the friend said, wow, you were great. What did you say? I'm sorry, I was wrong. So this is the way to get along between husband and wife. That's also related to man and woman. I'm not talking about myself, okay? Every time talking about man and woman relationship, you always think that it's a Grandmaster's own experience, but actually not so. But there's one point that I would like to frankly tell you, that the way for husband and wife to get along, when you fight with your woman, if you argue with the woman, then the man is dumb, a fool. You should not argue. It's best not to fight. No matter what, you cannot fight with the woman. I remember there was a joke. There was a man who's a real man. And he's quite a male chauvinist, and the woman is always very submissive and quiet, even when he was shouting and talking loudly. But every time they had a fight, the woman would go clean the toilet. And the husband was like really curious, why every time I scold you, you clean the toilet. It turned out she always uses his toothbrush to clean the toilet. So every time they got in a fight, she would use his toothbrush to clean the toilet. So the man thought that he won. Actually, he lost. So for a man to get into a fight with a woman, it's best not to have it. No matter what, when the fight is about to come, from my experience, oh no, how come I talk about my own experience again? My only experience is I always run away. Immediately, I would go away. I will not say anything. I would just go away, right away. That would be the smartest kind of man. The smartest one. Because doesn't matter how you fight, you will definitely lose. Because a woman are really good at fighting. If there is just even the slight friction, you should just go away right away. And then if you don't hear it, you feel at peace. But if you hear it, then your temper will start to rise. Because spiritual cultivators cultivate happiness, being happy 24/7. And the bliss when the chi is moving all over your body and you feel like you're melting. Even the bones and the hairs are trembling, like giddy. And when the light drops are melting inside your house and the inside your body. And if you have experienced such a bliss, then you can be totally ambivalent toward anything else in the world. Even just about the small bliss between man and woman, people are already craving that so much. So not to mention about the great bliss of spiritual cultivation. So that's why spiritual cultivation is truly a good thing. You can practice until you experience great bliss, until you're non-leaking, you don't leak anything, and you can make your bliss to reach all parts of your body. And then later on, when the water and fire are merging together, when the inner fire rises and the body chakra light drops are descending, and then the mixes or the merging of the water and fire can generate light, lucid light, and then at the end you would be able to generate the rainbow light. That's the attainment of Guru Padmasambhava. The first step is the bliss, and then you open your channels and you would be able to emit light. Once you become luminous and shining light, then you would be able to melt your whole body and you become a ray of rainbow light and directly attaining Buddhahood with that body. So the tantric practices are very unique and special, and you can have such attainments. And remember, his female attendant who's speaking English, where is she?
You say English. Yeah. You talk English.
She once said that when we were dining together, At the lunchtime,
tell me, you see my have the light. Do you know?
you told me at the table during lunch that you saw me radiating light, right?
就是说，他有一次在吃午餐，他坐在那边看到我。
So
他说我身上
during lunch one day, you were sitting there and you saw my body has light, right?
Yes.
Yes?
你站起来讲。
Can you stand up and say? So can you say it if you saw light? You can speak English, please.
Yes, and Grandmaster, I and my master so happy to have this. And however, I can understand Chinese language, but I have the machine translator. Translated Chinese to English, and I hope and I tried. I understand a little what you said. I think your work is very helpful for our life, and I'm really like and learned a lot of things tonight.
But did you see Grandmaster's light during lunch that day? Can you say that, please?
Oh, not my master said that. My master said that look like our friend's mother, he have a brightness and his face. Yes, my master said that's not me. My master said that.
啊，
赶快。
哦，他看到光。
And Grandmaster, I remember you. You said you answer the flight from the sun on outside, not me. However, in the house, in the house of my master, his face is very bright, and my master really like us.
好了，那个是法师所看到的。
So it was seen by the
那个时候
Venerable.
他看到我的脸。
He saw that my face, my body,
在吃午餐
emitting light during
吃午餐的
lunch
时候，就是在这个
together
巴菲
at the Mandarin buffet that day.
法师坐在我的旁边，那么
The Master Dhammananda sat next to me, and then in front of me
当翻译，
was his attendant and translator,
看到我身上
interpreter.
有光。那时候我跟
So she interpreted
太阳的
that
光照到我。
that he saw the light, and I replied to them that it was the sun shining
但是事实
outside.
上
But in reality,
这个有修行的人是可以见到
spiritual cultivators can see the light on the others' bodies.
它会产生光出来。为什么会产生？
So
因为你
the
的
spiritual cultivators can generate light. Why? Because your chakras have been opened. The skin pores open, and the light will be emitted, would shine, radiate from
是
them.
这个样子。
That's the reality.
你
That's
如果
how
你
it
身上
really
的
is.
荷蒙够
If you have sufficient hormones inside your body and you never leak
你
them,
身
you
上的
never
光
leak
泽
the
还是会
nectar,
在。那
then
个那种
your
光泽
light's still there.
树，
The And that kind of light is called the youthful color face, youthful colors, elements. So that means then you will not age very much. So is there like radiance on your skin? So, but if your skin is dry and dull, then you're old. Then your skin would be rough and coarse. But if you're young and youthful, then your skin would be radiant and shining, so like the young people. So as you're becoming old, then it would become dull and you would lose that shine. Like Grandmaster, he's now 75, but my skin has not aged very much. Like look at this, it's still very fair. And the skin has not aged, it's still quite radiant. That's the radiance. Not only on the arms, of course, all over your body. There are few wrinkles. There's not darken or pockmark or age mark. So you have not aged. So in that case, you would shine radiance because the hormone inside your body is still circulating and you still have lots of it. And that's true tantric practice. There are some people, they have deteriorated before they get old. The whole face and body have darkened and become dull. Of course, anything old would dry up and wilt because the hormones have leaked. They have lost their hormones and they cannot rejuvenate them. So during the dual execution, you replenish each other's hormones and increase each other's hormones. And the bliss will induce the channels to be open, the channels and chakras to be open. So during the dual execution of consort practice of Guru Padmasambhava and Aji Choga, they both became rainbow light. And that's the reason why. And this is the reason why. Also for Magic Labdron and Niawang. What is the name of Bodhidharma in Tibetan? Dampa Sangye. When they were in dual execution of consort practice, the same. The hotel owner judged them. They're both two spiritual cultivators. How could both of them were inside one room? So the hotel owner opened their window, and inside the room there were no human beings. There was only light, only bright light. That meant that both of them became light. They have become rays of light. So all the channels and chakras and also the light of the nectar brighter, and the light, because the channels and the chakras are open, that's the highest attainment in Tantrayana. My neighbor this morning at 2:30 knocked at my door. That's really incredible. 2:30 in the morning. Oh my God. But good thing I was playing on my drum then, so I wasn't asleep yet. So the first part and the second part are connected, because you're playing the drums at 2:30 in the morning, then of course the neighbor will knock at your door at 2:30 in the morning. If you cultivate spiritually, then you would emit light on your body, that's for sure. If you have attainments through your inner practices, then your body will definitely have that radiance, that your youthful look or youthful element will not be gone. During math test, there were 3 examiners, and taking great risks, I passed a note to Xiaoming. Do you know? To answer question number 3, and then he gave me a note back and replied, yes. So, can you do number 3? So he should have given the reply, but instead he just said, yes, I know. So what use is that? So Grandmaster knows how to cultivate spiritually. Therefore, Grandmaster will tell the methods of spiritual cultivation to everybody. So I hope that you gain yogic union with the yidam, which is extremely important. Once you gain union, yogic union, or you gain spiritual union with the yidam, because the ignition of the inner fire and the descent of the light drops, all, and also that the chi can open the channels, all have to rely on the yidam. So pay attention. Once you gain spiritual union with your guru, then your guru will guide you how to open your channels, how to open your chakras, and how to transport your chi, how to circulate your chi. So in the tangible aspect, Grandmaster will teach you, or in the intangible sense, that sometimes in the dreams or in meditation, Grandmaster will also teach you. This is very important. Om Mani Padme Hum.